I am bored enough to do another quick, I don't know, overlook, I guess, / mini review. You know, I was waiting for, as like many pretty like hardcore gamers, for this controller by Razer to come out. They've been like postponing it for like 2 years or something, but I finally got it. Got like actually a couple weeks ago. It's the tournament edition ONZA controller by Razer, and you know, I'm not gonna tell you about like all the stupid things it does, because if you guys are watching this, you probably know. And if I hear one more person talk about the hypersensitive mouse click buttons and the rubberized texture, I'm gonna punch myself in the face. So, but what I can tell you about this controller that you may or may not already know, it has like, you can remap the buttons here. But what I was kind of excited about, was that being able to maybe have your, let's say your left bumper over here on the right side, but you can't do that. You can't remap. You can't cross the bumper, so you can't put like the left bumper and the right bumper on the right side. So if you're playing like Crisis, you could have like your cloak and your shield both on one side. So you could come right out from like cloak to shield and then shoot. That's what I was excited about, but you can't do it with this controller, so it's pretty much probably going on Craigslist. The D-pad, even though it's like individual buttons, the time that it takes to come back to top seems slow. Seems like it catches a little bit, so I'm not too happy with that. It doesn't feel natural to me. I don't like it at all. I'd prefer just the regular 360 shitty D-pad over this any day. I do like the way your hand kind of wraps around it. It's got a good feel. The triggers I don't like. You can see that it's got like a hard edge right here, so your fingers constantly like just getting rubbed the wrong way. It just doesn't feel like nice and round like the 360s. I mean, you can like hold that down for 2 hours if you needed to. This, not so much. And like when I was playing, like it just seemed like my fingers they kept getting like cramped up. I play with the Control Freak like thumbstick like extender, and these thumbsticks are a little bit longer. I mean, just a teeny bit. I mean, not almost enough to not, it's hard to even tell, but they are a little bit like higher than a regular 360. And when you add one of those Control Freaks knobs on here, it's just out of control. I mean, your thumb is like way up here, and it's very unnatural feeling. Not only that, the new design of the Control Freak has like only like 3 teeth that clip onto the analog stick itself. The older one that came out a few years ago actually has like 8 or so, and actually that one works better. The new one doesn't work at all. So if you have a new one like the Prestige Edition or like the I think there's a Halo Edition, those, they don't work, because as you can see here, you have your adjustable tension, and it kind of rests on that. I mean, it'll stay, but if you move it around too much, it'll just pop right off. And actually, I can show you here. Here's my favorite controller here. So if you pop that off of there, and let's apply it. Let's put it on here. See if I can do it. Yeah. See? Yeah, it's kinda on there. As you can see, it's not really on there even, and it pops off like really easy. See, it wobbles and it pops right off. The older one actually has, as you can see, this only has 3 little teeth here. The older one has like, I don't know, maybe 8. That one actually stays on there a little bit better, but still not enough to where I'm comfortable with it. The buttons on this controller I do like, but you know, but playing with the regular Xbox controller for as long as I have been, I'm kind of used to the travel time of the buttons, and these have no travel time. I mean, you could just look at these buttons and press them. That's how like responsive they are. I mean, you'll go through menus and you'll just like, you're so used to just being able to push down on the buttons a little bit, just screwing around, but if you even just think about pressing the button, if your thumb's on it, it presses them. So that's nice, you know, it's definitely, it's nice, but it just feels different. The bumpers here are a little more clicky. I do like how they kind of wrap around. So if you're hitting your trigger, you can actually use like your knuckle here a little bit underneath it, and actually like hit the bumper here as well. So that's kind of nice, you know, if you want to get used to that. But the thing for me is, you know what, this thing does a few things. My hand was actually cramping up using this. Maybe I need to give it some more time. But I'm not going to. You know, I like the 360 controller more than I like this. If you could remap the bumpers, you know, both bumpers on one side here, maybe I would give it a shot playing Crysis, but you can't do that. So pretty much it's useless for me. The adjustable tension, you know what? I don't even know why you would want to tense it up. I mean, it doesn't give you like more control like you would think. It just makes it harder to push like all the way in. Like if you can still push it like a little bit around here, like, you know, maybe like a quarter of the way. Once you go like full, like left or right or up and down, it starts to get tough. So I didn't find it useful. You definitely your thumb will start cramping up quick. So yeah, that I didn't find useful. It sounds like it's a good idea, but really, no. And then the bumpers here, you know, the bottom one here is actually the bumpers. The top ones are the programmable ones. So when you're playing, you know, you kind of get confused. You know, you have to just kind of remember which one's which. So just that one split second of you like trying to remember which one's which could, you know, potentially get you killed. But you know, I guess it's just playing with it enough to get used to it. But you're gonna get so used to this controller maybe that it's gonna be hard to play with a regular 360 controller. You know, if you really start relying on all the features that this thing has. For me, I don't think there's enough to where I'm gonna like dedicate, you know, a controller to my gameplay. You know, to where I'm gonna have to take this with me, you know, to play like my thumbstick, the Control Freak. When I go to someone's house, I have to have that. I mean, I'm so used to playing with it that when I don't have it, my aim is just way off. So when I go to like a friend's house, I just bring my controller. But yeah, that's kind of my review. I mean, I know it's kind of a bad one, but maybe there's probably somebody out here that is gonna like this controller. It is very light. It's got a long cord and all that stuff. The buttons are super responsive. They're super flat. So it's hard to like. By the time you actually feel where the buttons are, you're pressing them. You know, I mean, yeah, of course, all of us, we know where the buttons are without really looking at them, and we could just press them all day. But you know, I mean, you almost like. You can't roll your thumb like over to the Y button across the X without accidentally pressing the X. That's how sensitive they are. I don't know if you can hear me clicking it, and I'm just like touching it. I'm not even pressing it, I'm just touching it. So they're very sensitive. Everything else works good. I mean, you could run fully and still click in on it, you know, like you can with the 360. You know, some of the aftermarket controllers don't really do that well. Actually, the right one doesn't do it as nice or as well as the 360. Like the left one does pretty well. If I'm pushing forward, I can still click in on it pretty easily. The right one, all the way forward, you don't hear that click. It doesn't have a good click unless you're like in the middle. So yeah, when it's all fully extended one, you know, to one side or the other. So that's something I didn't even really pick up on when I was first playing with it. So yeah, that's definitely a problem. But yeah, whatever. You know, I waited 2 years for this. Now I got it. Now it's, you know, I play with it maybe for a couple hours, and it's probably either going on eBay or on Craigslist. So if you guys are like around Cleveland area and you guys want that controller, I will be selling it. You can just contact me on Twitter if you like. It's SirBiff360. Yeah, we can set something up. But yeah, that's my review on the ONZA controller. Maybe there's some people out there that like it. You know, for me, I don't think it's worth it. I like the 360 controller. You know, the new one has a little improved D-pad. Works well enough for me. I can set up a Claymore or, you know, whatever I got to do, call in, you know, UAV just fine. I mean, all I play is Black Ops, so it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, look for me on Twitter. I'll try to answer as many as I can. I have my phone and my iPad and stuff on me like constantly, so I'm always available through you know, via Twitter. So yeah, hopefully you guys, I don't know, like that review. If not, whatever. Talk to you guys. Peace.